like opinions. This is Love Island Season 7, Episode 24 recap. Buckle your seatbelts, because I think this may be long. I might be here for a while for this one. But, Alandria, we're starting with the aftermath of Taylor picking Clark over Alandria. So, Alandria said it sucks that Taylor didn't pick her, and Ciara said she is shocked that 4 days could tear Taylor away from Alandria and pick Clark. Shelly said, and her true emotions is F that man. As in. And, but I will support you. She says, I will support you in anything that you want to do moving forward. And Ciara agrees, hopefully support her in moving on from that. So, Alandria says she wants to close the chapter with Taylor. I wish she would. But she doesn't know who she could explore since she put so much time and effort in Taylor. It doesn't matter, girl. Move on. So, Alandria said that she feels defeated. But she's going to try to navigate through things the best way she could. Ciara asks how did she feel walking back in? And Alandria says she was excited to know her journey wasn't over and she can continue going back to the villa. And she said they wanted to know, how was she able to stay? And she tells them about the situation with her and Nick having to couple up and come back in there. She said it felt wrong to explore it because it felt too late, like a little too late, because they knew they were both still invested in two other people. She was still invested in Taylor and he was still invested in Ciara. She tells Ciara that her and Nick did kiss. There was no spark when they kissed. And Ciara laughed. Alandria said she felt bad afterwards, but Ciara said, y'all had to do that. She understood why it happened. Alandria thanks her for being a good sport about it. Ciara said she was happy it was Alandria exploring her connection with Nick and not the other girls. She says she doesn't feel any type of way about it. Clark said she feels great when Taylor asked her how she feeling, and she said Taylor said he could have played it safe and chose Alandria, but his head was with Alandria, but his heart was with Clark. After 3 days, his heart was with Clark. That's all I need to know. I really hope they show her all this in movie night. I hope she's there for movie night. So, in his confession, he said he doesn't want to see Alandria hurt, but this was his decision. Clark tells him it was very attractive the way he handled the situation. Girl, please. Wasn't nothing attractive about what he did. Not like him picking you. That was his choice, but the way he tried to get her up out of there, saying the way she shaded him, like, boy, bye. Ace and Shelly just over there, just a pet kissing nonstop. And he asked her about Chris. She said they have similarities, and Ace said, baby, ain't nobody like me. So she said, but there's no connection like the one she has with Ace. There was no one like him. And she said she was nervous and wants to know how Chris feels. And she doesn't want to deny herself the experience of getting to know Chris. Ace asked if they were still exploring. Notice how he asked that to see if Shelly. I told y'all it wasn't gonna be Ace that messed up the relationship. It was gonna be Shelly. So well, the connection. And she said he asked were they still exploring other people, and she said yeah. He said he does. She said, does Chris know, or do he know he need to be preparing for war? And they both laughed about it, but he said, oh, I'm dead serious. So Zach I ain't gotta say Zach with a K no more because the other Zach gone. Zach tells Amaya he was glad she picked him, and they talk about pets or cats or whatever in a meaningless conversation that I ain't finna get into. So Amaya says she's happy to be back home and happy Austin found him someone. Zach says anything she needs, he got her. And they kiss as usual. And Ciara talks to Nick about how he got sent home. And he said he didn't have no fireworks with anyone, and he didn't get picked at the fire pit, so he went home. And when he left out, a G-Wagon pulled up with Alandria in the back telling him to get in. He said he pulled Alandria for a check and asked if they could see where things would go. And when they kissed, it didn't feel romantic. But Nick lied a little bit. he didn't tell the whole truth, because I really don't fault too much on Alandra, like with the kiss, whatever. I guess she was trying to stay in the house. I mean, in the villa, whatever. She was trying to get back to Taylor. She didn't really have no spark with Nick. I really don't believe that. Y'all could be delulu about that Nick Alandra all you want to. I ain't. But Nick, I think Nick really liked Alandra, but Alandra he saw Alandra was shutting it down, and he rolled with it. That's how I see it. So he didn't tell Ciara that he was telling her that he's always been feeling her and he always wanted it. Like, he didn't tell Ciara all that. That probably gonna come out and move tonight. Especially without the seed that got planted in her hand tonight. So, he asked how she felt knowing that he kissed Alandra, and she said she didn't feel any type of way because he saw something new and explored it, and she glad it was Alandra and nobody else. So Nick said it was a huge weight lifted off of him knowing that she was fine with it. He asked her about Elon, and she said she didn't see the sparks for him. She is starting to think about what life would be like outside with him and her. And he said he's thinking the same. And he said he's sick of all the tests. I bet you is, because you was the test. So TJ and Iris are happy to be back together because they didn't connect with anyone. She said he's her Barbie, he's her Ken. What she said, he is the Barbie to her Ken, whatever. Andrina and Byron feel good to be together in the villa. Andrina said she wants to still explore everyone, but she is happy with Byron. Brian, he feels the same way. She said she doesn't know who Brian may be crushing on, but she got a crush on Pepe. She said, Duke Dennis, what's up with you? That's how Andrina feeling. So she wants to talk to Pepe more. Hood is happy Chris picked her, and he says he wants to get to know her, Hooda. And she says she also wants him to explore other people as well. She won't be mad. She trying to show people that she's a real cool, down-to-earth, chill type of person. She don't act like that, girl, whatever. He said he doesn't really have a, she asked him about where he stay and all that. He said he doesn't really have a spot in Los Angeles, because he only comes home 1 to 2 months because he is overseas playing ball. So when he does come home, he stays with family. She said when her lease ends, she already told her baby that already had this agreement that if one moved this, like, so she moved to LA when her lease ends. And he tells her he wants her to know that her being a mom doesn't bother him. She's happy to hear that and says that her daughter is everything to her. And she asks him, does he want kids one day? And he says, of course, I want 5 max as long as 2 of them are boys. She said she wanted more kids, but this time she wanted to be married first. He said this is the happiest she has been in the villa. Shocking to me. So Austin and Jada, boring, whatever, next scene. But he said he ready to cuddle with her, and they have a handshake, and then they kiss, whatever. He said he got a reason to wake up every day now that he has Jada. Girl. So the girls tell Ciara how happy they are for her and Nick, and how cute it was when he picked her up and spent her around. And Ciara said how everyone moving the next 2 days will be very telling. I don't know what that meant, but ooh. So Shelly says she would continue to pursue Chris. And Huda looking like, oh dang. So Alandra said she's interested to see how Chris and Ace will operate in the same place. Ciara and Nick is back smashing under the covers while everybody is asleep. The next morning, Elon asked, was it Chris? Said, I'm glad I had my eye mask and my earplugs in, because I think something was going down in the bed in between me and you. And it definitely was. Amaya just singing, doing cartwheels, and she kissed the floor because she's glad to be back in the villa. Amaya is a breath of fresh air. I ain't gonna lie to you. I know at first I wasn't feeling Amaya, but she done grew on me. Ooh, something in my... Elon said, Annette cut Ciara a pancake into a C because she told him that Elon did that for her in Castle. So she thought it was funny when he brought it to her. But in come Elon with another pancake cut in the C. And she didn't eat it because she said she was already full. So Ace asked Taylor if he had second thoughts, and he said he stand 10 toes down in his decision. He don't have second afterthoughts, none of that. So he bring Clark her breakfast. And the way Alandra was looking, Lord. So Shelly tells the girl she wants to still explore Chris. And Sierra says she doesn't know if she would still explore Elon, but Nick hasn't told her that they're closed off yet. So she isn't going to go out her way to pursue anything, but not turning Elon down, bringing her breakfast. She's not going to do that either. So they tell Alandra it's her turn. She says she feels drained, but her feelings for him is still there. But in the real world, she would cut men off so fast. So why won't you keep that same energy? I don't know. And I don't care if this is a game you're trying to play. But you've always said you was a slow burn. You're not going to change yourself because you have morals. Why not? If you cut men off in real life, cut nigga off now. Because you see, especially if you see ain't nothing happen. You didn't get picked. You almost went, you done went home. You done almost went home twice. You actually did, but they brought you back. Like, girl, they brought you back twice. You've been saved twice. Like Huddle. Come on, man. Don't piss me off. Made me forget where I was. She said men see her value after she is gone, but once she gone, she gone. Please be gone. Please leave this man alone. She said she wanted to be childish right now with the situation, but she said she too mature for that, so she gonna keep it cool. So Sierra tells her she is in the eye of the storm right now, but it's not going to rain forever, which was cute. Taylor said he woke up happy, but hate that he is still in the love triangle because Alandra is still there. Taylor, you. They asked how he feels about still being here. They asked him how he feels about Alandra still being there, and he says, I voted to keep her here. Interesting. And he think it's a maybe for them getting back together. The fact that you said maybe. So he thinks she may be cool on him. She may not even want to fool with him. I wish she would be, but to each his own. They asked where I was. He say he still wants to pursue her. Whatever. Nick says after talking to Sierra, Elon being there doesn't bother him. Did it last long? Elon said it was hard to watch Sierra with him, and his intention is still to explore Sierra. Then Ace said he don't care about Chris being there. If she does pursue him, and he feels if he said he would close things off, she would, but he doesn't want to close things off with her right now because it's going to look like just because she got a connection with another man, he trying to close things off with her and not let her get to know anyone else. He doesn't want it to look like her. I think he does want to close things off with her, but he don't want it to look some type of way with her. But I think Ace kind of said that in the beginning to her when he asked her were we still exploring thing. I think he was hitting that he want to close thing off, but Shelly not ready. So, which I'm not mad at because you played with Shelly in the beginning. So he said this makes him want to step it up, and he is interested in seeing how things are with them outside the villa. And Chris is cool with being with Huddle, but he said he would still pursue Shelly. Sierra tells Iris about her journey in the bed last night with Nick. And they both had a full course meal that lasted way longer than the last time. And I'm like, girl. Then they noticed Taylor with Clark. And Sierra said it's weird seeing Taylor be so affectionate with Clark. But she said she told Alandra she is glad that Taylor released her so she could put her energy in elsewhere. Sierra tells Iris that Alandra explored Nick. And Iris taken aback by this and was like, what do you mean? What happened? And she was like, oh, they made out in soul ties. And Sierra says she doesn't feel any way about it. And Ira was like, I would. She was like, you should. She was like, I know you so easygoing, stuff don't bother you, but this should bother you that your best friend, bitch, they ain't best friends. But so Sierra is now second guessing how she feels, which is how somebody can change how you feel. I do not know. Ira says she would never kiss her friend man that she had sex with. I agree, but looking at the circumstances, well, the choice she had. I mean, she could have turned it down, but I don't know. It was a sticky situation. If Sierra said she was okay with it, leave it alone, Iris. You worry about you and boring TJ. Shelly pulls Chris pulls Shelly for a chat, and she says she was overwhelming herself and he reassures her that he ain't going nowhere. He gonna step it up. Chris says Shelly is one of those type of people that lifts his spirits up every time he see her, and I can see that. Shelly like she's a bright ray of sunshine. Ace said he was put in a position to say Coco or Shelly, and he chose Shelly. And the fact that she is torn and trying to go back and forth between him and Chris and comparing them the two is frustrating him. Low key, he frustrated. But this makes him want to go harder and ask her why she isn't sure with him and her closing things off. So like I said, he ready to close things off. Shelly ain't. So Chris said he writing a song with Shelly's name in it. Ace talking about he don't lose. Well, this time you might be first time losing, boy. So because Shelly is really giving you what you gave her in the beginning, I'm not mad at Shelly because I mean Shelly has always explored. I'm gonna keep it a book. I'm not even that's my girl, but Shelly always explored it. So has Ace. So do I think right now is a good time to close things off? I don't really know because they got they got about like 2 weeks. So yeah, okay. They may have like a week and a half left. What? Yeah, they may have about 2 weeks left. So Audrina tells Alandra she is feeling Pepe even though things are going good with her and Brian. Why am I calling this man Byron? Tyler Perry play. Movie. Alandra said we all open, so you should just try it. So Andrina said Pepe is her type, and she wonder if they could be a thing. So Shelly tells Ace he isn't making eye contact with her, and he said he just focused on how he has been feeling with her making another connection, and asked if she regretted her decision, and she said no. Do you regret yours? And he said, I will pick you 1,000 times over. Ace, shut up. She said the connection with Chris doesn't just disappear and she's not going to completely close things off. She wants to know how her and Ace will work outside the villa in his world. And he tells her she will be a priority in his life. And she was like, okay. And he said he doesn't play by his Shelly, and he always says that. So she said the more she talks to him, the feelings keep growing, but this is her process just as well as it is theirs. And she's the catch here. He did ask for a kiss, and he was like, oh, I gotta worry about a love triangle. And she jokingly said no, but then they kissed. And he said, man, he looks at the way he be looking at her like, oh my God. He said, you trouble. And she said, you the one that's the problem, child. And they both couldn't do nothing but laugh. And every time, like I said before, every time I look up, Taylor is all over Clark. I mean, all over Clark. And it is in the Pepe, and it don't look like people like Taylor being with Clark. I don't know if it's because it's new to them or whatever. Taylor asked Clark how does she feel about being a couple with him, their first day being a couple, and she said it feels great. They talk about how they want to live in the future with kids, baby cows, and all that type of stuff. Clark says she can let her guard down now a little more because she knows where Taylor's head is at. Baby, you would be confusion. So Chris asked Ace for a chat, and he said he a man, he don't want it to be awkward, he don't like awkward stuff. And he want Ace to know he is still trying to explore Shelly. And he also told Shelly to keep it real with him. And if her connection with Ace is stronger, he gonna move out the way. So Ace said Chris is cool, and he there for their friendly competition. They shake hands and walk off. So while Andrina is telling Amaya that she still wants to talk to every guy, Amaya gets a text. The text says, Islanders get ready to raise everyone's heart rate in tonight's couples challenge, Hearts on Fire. Amaya said she is a nurse and she not worried about making anyone's heart skip a beat. Amaya is crazy. Elon gives Alandra their rundown because every couple is over there saying what all they gonna do. Elon tells Alandra that since they are both single, he said, we gonna go through you go through the guys, I go through the girls. He said, hell, I even might tease the boys a little bit. You try it if you want to. Nick tells Sierra if she do anything crazy with Elon, he gonna crash out. And she says she don't like him kissing other girls, and he said he wouldn't, so they agreed to keep it PG. That ain't gonna last. So Elon said during the final part, him and Alandra both should pull the person that was taken for them, pull them at the same time, and get down on them. So this challenge was a no for me. So I'm just gonna go straight to the important part that was important to me, not you, but me. But Sierra and Nick were hot commodity tonight, especially Sierra. So because everybody wanted to kiss Sierra. Amaya and Zach are just so goofy together. When Andrina got her chance with Pepe, she went all the way in. Baby, the way Austin was, I have no words. But he did give me a good chuckle. So Jaden ate with her split. I love that. So Ace had this Flintstone outfit on, took me out. Shelly left Chris speechless. She went back for seconds with Chris. Ace and Amaya kissed, which shocked me. Even Amaya was shocked. Amaya said, oh, no boundaries, Ace. Now you want to kiss? So, but then Shelly and Ace pull Amaya and they do a three-way kiss. They knocked Amaya out her shoes, which tickled me the way she walked back with her shoes to the side. Ace said they did their big one, but he ain't want to see nothing Shelly was over there doing. Huda was just slanging and bopping her booty everywhere on everybody. Huda flipped upside down on Chris and just let her leg shake like this in the air. Like Huda just showing us what her day job, what her night job is. Do with that as you please. Then her and Chris pull Shelly and Ace, and things go right and then go left. I'm talking about completely left. Shelly said Huda took it too far. And by everyone's face, something happened that we didn't see. Because the way everyone was took back, everyone's face was in complete shock. So I don't know what Huda did. But I would like to know. Because Shelly was pissed. Ace said it's just a challenge. It's just a challenge. But Pepe said, nah, that looked like more than just a challenge. So when Pepe said that, I'm like, what did she do? So, Huda reaches over to touch Shelly and she asks, was she mad at her? And for you to ask that, you knew you did something too far. So Shelly said, we'll talk later. And Pepe got behind Sierra, kissed her upside down. Nick was pissed. Sierra and Nick turned Iris out. Sierra and Nick turned Iris all the way out. And but why Nick licked Alandra's foot? Like licked her foot, then sucked her toes. Like what the? Then Nick and Sierra picked Shelly. Nick over there licking Shelly toes. Ace over there covering his face, telling him not my toes. And Sierra said Shelly is the best kisser on the island, and Nick never got the experience, so now is the time. So they do a three-way kiss with Shelly. Then they end their. At the end, Sierra does this split on top of Nick and bop like a stripper. Huda had night lives. Baby Alandra did her thing. Alandra got up there. She said she shocked herself, which shocked me that she shocked herself. Because if I had like that, baby, she twerked on TJ and TJ was like, oh, dang. So Alandra then put Brian's face all between her cheeks and shook it. His head was like this. The way Austin was throwing it back on Alandra, I can't. Alandra kissed Andrina, and Andrina said she loved it. And now Alandra pulls Taylor, and Elon pulls Sierra to the heart shape. They laid him on the ground. Taylor talking about he thought she skipped him, but she double backed on him. Nick was pissed. He said he don't fool with Elon. He don't know why Elon trying him. And I was like, what? Nick was pissed. Alandra said she showed Taylor what that thing be like. And Clark said she don't want to say she took it too far because it's a challenge, but she ain't want to see that. He just like Alandra don't want to see him all over you, but oh well. She didn't take it too far. She didn't take it far enough. She should have did like her. That's so double standard of me. So Nick feels like there are lines in a challenge and Elon stepped over it and he big mad. Alandra said she gave Taylor a taste of what he missing. Elon said he blacked out. He don't know if he took it too far, but he'll find out later. Why they say Taylor and Clark for last, I do not know. A lot of people with the cast, the Islanders liked it and said they did their big one. I didn't see it. But Taylor went for Alandra first, but he kept it cute. She said he only kept it cute because of Clark. But she's singing. She can do it the hell she want. She ain't got to keep it cute for nobody. And again, another girl goes for Sierra, meaning Clark, and not Nick. Like, Sierra was hot commodity. Taylor said in his confession that he didn't want to hurt Clark's feelings around after what Alandra did to him, so he kept it cute. He didn't want to be sleeping in soul ties that night. So basically confirming what Alandra had already said. So the results of the heart rate challenge is Ian and Iris' heart rate was raised by the most by Nick, Amaya's by Pepe, Andrina by Pepe, Jaden by Nick, Shelly's by Chris, Huda's by Elon, Grayson's by Nick, Sierra's by Elon, Alandra by Chris, and Clark's by Ace. The boys' test results up next. TJ heart rate was raised the most by Grayson, Zach by Sierra, Brian by Sierra, Austin by Amaya, Chris by Shelly, Pepe by Andrina, Nick by Iris, Elon's by Sierra, Taylor's by Alandra, catch, and Ace by Huda. Ooh, child. The couple who raised the heart rate the most was Sierra and Nick. So then Huda and Audrina and Amaya are talking, and she tells them that she thinks Shelly's mad with her. She can tell by Shelly's demeanor. She feels like everyone always saying it's just a challenge, but the second she does something, it's a problem. Shelly down there talking to Sierra, Iris, and Alandra, and she was like, am I tripping? And Sierra said, I know exactly what you're talking about, and nah, you ain't tripping. You're absolutely not tripping. And I was like, yeah, something inappropriate happened. I want to know what it is. Shelly said there was not a level of respect, especially coming from someone who tried to set all the boundaries when it came to Jeremiah. She said she already felt uncomfortable when Huda kept saying, with the Chris thing, because Huda kept saying, I picked him for you, picked him for you. But Shelly said, you did that for you, so stop pushing the narrative like he was being a girl's and saving him for me. Huda says she doesn't want Shelly to go to bed mad. She don't want Shelly to be mad at her, but she think the icing on the cake was her raising Ace's heart rate the most. Nah, baby, Shelly was mad before that heart rate result came out, because you asked her. So, I don't know if they flipped the script on y'all or something, but she was already pissed. So, she said she didn't want Shelly to go to bed angry, and they encouraged her to talk to Huda. They encouraged Huda to go talk to Shelly. But baby, Andrina went down there first and gave Shelly the rundown of the conversation she had with Huda. Andrina said Huda said it was just a challenge, but to Andrina, all challenges are games and fun, but it's also the moment you show the person you actually want, you give them extra attention and show them that you see something with them. That's how Andrina said. So Shelly said, that's fine. Go show that to Elon. Damn. So she said, Huda was always saying she didn't care if we kissed Jeremiah in the challenge, but when the challenge was over and we didn't kiss him, she would tell them she appreciated them so much and it shows how much they loved her. So why don't you hold those same morals and values? And all the girls agree with Shelly. That's the crazy part. They agree. So she said she is trying to look at the bigger picture, but she doesn't get where Hood is coming from, and maybe she not the friend for her. It's not about someone wanting her man. She doesn't give about that. It's you showing me you have no respect for me, and there is hard feelings. She got hard feelings now. She said her and Chris wrapped it up, and when they finished, they look over. She's still going. They watching y'all go in. So then she said, then you see the camera pin on Hood, and Hood said, yeah, I effed up. So that was the end of that episode. I can't wait till the next episode. I want to see how this conversation is going to go with Shelly and Hood. I can't wait. But you know what? Like, share, comment, subscribe, talk to me, whatever. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.